you been thus far? This is not the first concert for this tour.
No, but we haven't been on the whole tour. We've
Okay.
done maybe 3 other shows. We played with her in Miami, then we played with her in Philly, and now I'm playing with her here.
Okay, so this is just like home for you though, because you originally started out with Erica Badu, right? In the blues.
Yeah, well, yeah. Erica was one of the first people I met in New York. Common introduced me to her. The Roots used to do a jam session up in New York at this old club that closed down. It was called Wetlands, and that's pretty much where I met everybody.
Okay, alright. So tell us about your new album, Airtight Revenge.
Yeah, well, it's a record that I've done pretty much in one place.
Okay.
It's like 4 other producers on it. I produced it. Knox, Shafiq Hussein, Steve McKee, who's playing with me tonight,
All right.
and Conley Whitfield, who's playing with me tonight, and man, who else? Yeah, Steve McKee, 88 Keys, Knox, Shafiq Hussein, and me.
Okay. Any collaboration?
Nope.
Straight you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So where did this title come from? Like, how did you come up with that title for this album?
Well, Airtight's an old nickname that I had a while ago, and the revenge part is really talking about a bootleg album that I had back in 2006. I was doing a record for the Interscope,
Okay.
and it was bootleg.
Bootleg.
Yeah, and then after that, the album got shelved, and I started to have friction with the label. So then I left the label, and just a bunch of shit happened.
Okay.
And so, you know, it really was supposed to, like, you know, discourage me and stop me, but I got a lot of good feedback online, which was crazy because the label was telling me that the music was horrible.
Right.
You know? But when it got bootleg, we started touring, like we had an album out, so it was kind of, it was like, you know, that's where the revenge came from, because
Like now I'm about to get back at you.
yeah, like
basically.
like,
Okay.
you know, y'all can't really stop me, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely not. I mean, you have a wonderful gift. Your talent is extraordinary. I totally just love the whole neo soul. But you didn't originally start out like that. You wanted to do jazz initially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't really consider myself one thing, you know. Like neo soul, I never really gravitated towards that because I always wanted to do music that I could mix all different elements, all
Right.
different genres. Like I see my music more as like genre bending,
Okay.
you know.
So how did you go from though jazz? I don't know because I'm not a musician, but how did those two connect?
Well, easy. I compose the songs the way I compose the songs. I compose them open-ended
Okay.
as a jazz tune. You know, I went to school for music. I went to school at the Manus New School for Social Research in New York.
Yeah, I saw that.
So like there, I kind of really learned how to write tunes open-ended
Okay.
to where, you know, it's almost like, you ever heard this cat Frank Zappa?
Not at all.
Well, Frank Zappa is like one of my biggest influences, but he's a blues jazz guitarist,
Okay.
but he plays rock. And what he would do is he would write these open-ended tunes, and then he would hire all different styles of musicians. Like he would get a fusion drummer, then he would get like a jazz keyboardist, and he'll get like a classical cellist, you know what I mean? And then he'll get like a vibraphonist. Like he mixes weird elements together to like create his own sound. So that's what I do. Like my keyboardist, he's pretty much a church organist / jazz cat.
Okay.
And my drummer, straight up hip hop dude. My bassist is like a fusion punk rock kind of cat.
That's what makes you unique, though.
Yeah.
It's just not one particular type of when you
Genre.
do work? Thank you.
Mhm.
Got a mind freeze for a minute. Exactly. I tend to have those sometimes, but you knew I was going with that. So do you write your own material?
Yeah.
Or you produce your own material as well?
Yeah, on this record, I pretty much wrote every song. Like, I wrote from the piano first, and then I bring it to the studio, and me and whichever producer I was working with, mostly Steve McKee, we would just make a song, or not make a song, make a track from the song that I wrote at the piano.
Oh, sweet. How does this beauty project differ from the other ones that you initially?
Because of the way we recorded the records, you know, it was pretty much all in the same place, and which gave us a lot of freedom to create and mess around, and also the way the tunes were written, you know, it's almost like from the concept of like how the Beatles would write tunes, you know,
Okay.
they wrote the songs on an instrument first and then made a track. So.
Is it difficult, like doing what you want to do as far as writing and conducting in the industry? Do they kind of just still have certain stipulations on you, or are you free just to do whatever?
Well, right now I'm free to do whatever. I'm signed to an independent label, and their whole deal is for me to just create and grow, you know. So on this record, I'm playing keyboard just as much as I'm singing.
All right. So with the industry being so competitive, how are you able to stay true to your style?
I don't worry about nobody else, you know.
Do you?
I'm not in competition with nobody but me, you know.
Now you have been like put on the same plateau as like a Lenny Kravitz, Maxwell, D'Angelo, John Legend. Like, what do you think about that?
Cool.
Cool. Now who do you listen to? Who's on your MP3 player, on your CD player in your car? Who do you listen to?
Right now, I'm listening to the Airtight Revenge record that's coming out sometime.
That's right. That's right. First and foremost. Is there anybody that that you would want to work with that you haven't had an opportunity to?
Yeah, I'd like to. I'd love to work with Tom York from Radiohead.
Okay.
You ever heard of that group?
I've heard of Tom York, but not Radiohead. So I'm not.
Yeah, it's a rock group, and they're pretty soulful. I would love to work with them. Yeah.
So how are you? I mean, what influences your creativity? Do you like go on a hiatus to become?
Well, it just usually just comes to me. You know?
How does it come to you? Like, do you like? Is it life experiences? Is it something that you see? Is it a good book, a movie? I mean,
It's all of those things. You know, I don't really have a set way.
okay.
I really view my work like a painter would. You know what I'm saying? So I just really draw from everything. And you know, I don't really write the songs overnight. So sometimes the music will come to me, or sometimes I'll write some stuff down and it'll inspire some music to me. But I don't really have a set way.
You don't have a set way. I just thought, you know, like with most artists, again, I'm not an artist, so I'm just speculating that you get in a certain mind frame, you know, you kind of just disassociate yourself with the real world so you can be creative.
No, I write about the world, so, you know, on this album, this new record, I've written about, man, not only love, but I wrote about politics, I wrote about religion, my children, you know, so I write about everything. I really view my writing style like how Bob Marley wrote or how Curtis Mayfield wrote, you know. They kind of just spoke on things and used the music as a platform.
Okay. So my next question would be, with the industry being the way that it is, if you could change one thing about it, what would it be?
If I could change one thing about the industry, oh man, I don't know.
That's the first. Is that a good thing? Is that a good thing that you know? Because it has changed. You know, it's just like everything is just so competitive. You know, you may initially start out as a neo soul artist, but turn into pop or hip hop and things of that nature, just to, I guess, feel some type of void in the industry. So that's why my question was like, what would you change? Because I know they make a lot of, you know, artists just kind of switch up some stuff, just, you know, to sell records.
Well, I made that change. You know, I was already in like a big. I was in a situation like that years ago where, you know, I was with cats that really didn't see me for my vision, but they had a vision for me. So I just made those changes to where I can have my own vision and follow my heart, you know. So I feel like if there's something wrong, especially as an artist, you have to make certain changes to, you know, make things flow.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. So what's your next step after you leave the ATL?
As I leave the ATL, I'm going to go home and just start preparing for this record to drop. We're about to start a tour on my own in September, so just gonna go home and start preparing for that.
Now, will you be touring alone, or are you gonna have some other artists as well?
Right now I'm gonna be alone, but we may add on some people.
Alright, so officially, when does this album drop?
Officially, the album drops September the 14th.
So go get it. And it is entitled Airtight Revenge.
Airtight Revenge.
And this is Miss Muse and the one and only Bilal. And this is For Real Music Lives.